from within the week, I was drinking and up in the room. I didn't really have anyone to talk to. I became functioning within the drinking and working because my parents have an apartment on the side of the house. And I moved into the apartment and I'd go working. As soon as I was finished work, I'd just pound drinking to myself, just fell asleep. And then I'd just repeat the process. There was a knock on the door one morning, and there was these 4 people in hazmat suits, and they ended up bundling me, ended up taking me out into the back of a van and bringing me to Tralee Hospital, into the psych ward. And I was put into this isolation place, and this fella started asking me these questions. And I was still like, because I got up that morning to go to work, and I was still like on the defensive. I was like, I'm trying to, I'm a plumber, like, but I was put in isolation in for a few days. I remember being down there because there's like the little glass thing that's in that. It's the PTSD about those hard things, but you see him come down and he look in the thing, and I remember it was like kind of like that. But then the man, one of the nurses came down and said, he's not talking to you until you take the medication. They put me on lithium, and that evening I remember sitting there and there's nothing to do there, kind of like in his own, this kind of trance, and I was talking to one fella across the room. We were talking about dodgy boxes or something like that, and it came up a conversation. He was on the same thing, and the fella in the bed was on the same thing. The other fella was on the same thing, but there was Scrabble there, and it was like, we have a game of Scrabble. Don't know how I was able to have a game of Scrabble because my head wasn't even there, but the 4 of us were playing Scrabble even that evening, just that bit of connection. And I've said it in the past, ever since all of that, and I've talked about it there from New Zealand and all that, that was the first bit of connection I had since all of that, you know? And even to feel that was something.